Hola mis queridos, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Alicia. Hello my kittens, how are you? My name is Allison, and today we're playing Murder, She Wrote, A Garden to Die For. Freaking cool. So there are a few things I want to bring up before I get into the actual game. One, Murder, She Wrote, the video game, is actually based off a TV show, and possibly a couple of the movies. I have not seen the movies, unfortunately. I am going to try to look those up and watch them. I am freaking excited. Before we get into the usual things that I go with in the introduction, I do want to mention that the music you're hearing in this menu screen is actually the theme song from the show, which I think is rockin'. Murder, She Wrote is actually about a murder mystery author. Her name is Jessica Fletcher. She is from Cabot Cove, Maine. Most of the show, and it seems most of the game, is set in Cabot Cove. She's basically what I consider the author version of Nancy Drew. And that's what I'm going to be saying. I am betting most Nancy Drew fans would agree with me. Those who are not familiar with Nancy Drew would call her a female Castle. I find that a little insulting because Jessica Fletcher was way before Castle. So, we should be calling Castle a male Jessica Fletcher. How insulting would that be to Castle fans? Jeez. Anyway, with Murder, She Wrote, there are actually a couple of things that are pretty cool. One, there's relaxed mode and timed mode, which is pretty nice. Relaxed mode, you can take your time with it. You don't have to worry about anything. You can search to your heart's content, how long you ever want. With timed mode, well, you have 20 minutes every hidden objects puzzle. And that's not including the mini puzzle that's inside the hidden objects. And if you run out of time, you're automatically kicked out and you gotta start all over from the beginning of that puzzle. Which is unfortunate, but at least it helps you out. And at the end of every book, it actually tells you how long you've been playing, how many hints you've had, how many letters you found for the keyboard that's on the side of the hidden objects puzzle screen, and a couple of other things. It sometimes randomizes. Then there's the custom cursor. You can turn that off or on. I'm going to keep it on. What's really unfortunate with this game is that the music volume is combined with the voice volume. I would turn it up, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be too loud for you all, considering there's also full screen windowed. I'm doing windowed so I can see everything. I only have one monitor compared to other YouTubers. Yikes. I look forward to having two monitors actually, but I need to have a different computer tower for that. Which I find weird because the tower I have is actually pretty modern. Also, I do want to warn you all a little bit. Some of the books in this game do have some bloody scenes, so with that, I'm going to do my best to censor those, even though I do not earn money on this channel. And I mean that literally. I don't intend to either when I get the opportunity to monetize. So if ever you see ads on my videos, it is because it got copyright claimed. And I'm not doing anything about that because, like I said, I'm not earning any money. I'm not going to worry about that. There are some things about Murder, She Wrote that can be psychologically damaging. I would give examples, but I've been saying this so many times in a lot of my videos, not just Murder, She Wrote, but Nancy Drew, Grim Tales, especially with the particular Grim Tales game we're playing right now, which is basically about a murder case of our niece. We're trying to solve who did it to make sure that our nephew is not blamed. Anywho, because this game and other games have psychological means to damage a person's mind, I do not recommend them for people under the age of 17. Which is weird because there are some Nancy Drew games that are like that, so I don't understand why those games are rated everyone when it shouldn't be. I've been nitpicking everything ever since my nieces were born. Even Barbie movies. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anyway, let's get on to the game after I mention one more thing. If anything in this video does not look familiar, it is because you have not been keeping up. Please check the links in the description box below. There's a previous video as well as the playlist. I recommend the playlist because it will have every video that I've done so far with A Garden to Die For, this particular title of the book. Just to let you all know, if you're not familiar of why I said book, Murder, She Wrote is also a book series actually. I forgot to mention that. If you're wondering what the other 2 books are that we've done so far with the game, which should point out here, Deadly Catch, Murder in the Maples, see a pattern here? Those 2 books you can find on my channel under the Murder She Wrote section. I actually had to rename a section so I could put Murder She Wrote on its own. That way you could easily find it. And with that, I actually want to go ahead and continue on with the game. But there is this, which I super like. There's, do you want to continue your saved game? This is kind of like what happens with the Nancy Drew games. You have the option to cancel, which takes you back to the menu here. You can say yes, which continues the game, or you can say no, which resets the game entirely. You have to start all over from the beginning of the book. Oi! I actually tested it out once before I started playing the actual book, and I'm like, oh, good thing I haven't clicked on that yet. Alright, let's get into the game. So what happened in the previous video is that we went through chapters 7 to 10. I might actually go from chapter 10 to 14 in this one. I'm not entirely sure. It's because I accidentally went ahead too far when I was doing the practice run. So this is what happened in the previous video. It's chapters 7 through 10. I met Seth at Matthew's garden, and he informed me that the cause of death was poisoning. We supposed Matthew could have been poisoned with the pesticide he used in his garden, or with ricin, since we also found some castor beans. Seth confirmed that the time of death was 11:30 a.m. yesterday, and plans to run some tests to identify the exact poison that killed Matthew. While I wait for the results, I think I'll go speak with Emily Weisborough again to see if Jack and Thomas were telling the truth about the intensity of her conflicts with Matthew. Yeah. Chapter 8, Emily Weisborough's patio. Over at Emily's, I found a picture of Avery Donaldson trespassing on Matthew's property just a few days before Matthew was killed. Apparently, Emily has been keeping tabs on all of her neighbors and believes that Matthew had been spreading lies about her. She also claimed that Matthew had introduced earwigs into her garden in retaliation for cats roaming through his garden. Could this have made her mad enough to kill him? I'd like to follow up with Avery to find out what he was doing in Matthew's garden. And we're actually going to find proof in this video that, well, something about Emily, I should say. I keep wanting to click the X at the top. Chapter 9, Avery Donaldson's garden. Avery insists that he trespassed in Matthew's garden only because he was trying to find out why Matthew had been sneaking around in his garden. He is sure Matthew was stealing seeds from him. Furthermore, he alleges that Jack probably killed Matthew because Matthew refused to pay his bill. Overreaction? Avery asked me to return Jack's gardening gloves for him, which gives me a good excuse to talk with Jack again. Oh boy. Chapter 10, Jack Delgado's garage. Jack had a flyer for the garden competition that detailed the first place prizes put up by Humboldt Chemicals. If there was a D in that, I would assume that would be from California. It actually turns out there is a Humboldt, Maine. Quite impressive. He told me that Matthew had once asked him to spy on Avery for him, but that he had refused. He also denied the gardening gloves were his and suggested a check with Carol to find out whom they may belong to. Oh boy, and that is why we are about to enter Maine Coast Garden Supply. Oi.
Miss Sullivan, do you sell this brand of leather work gloves here?
Yes, I do. Why?
We were wondering if you might remember who bought this particular pair recently.
Do you remember what happened last time?
I don't know, but I can probably find the invoice. I'm still looking for Avery's invoice, too.
Right.
It's been so crazy here, and I'm short-handed. If I come across either one, I'll let you know, Sheriff.
Thanks. Are you okay, Carol?
Not really. Things have been so crazy. I have customers coming in for the latest seed shipment, but the packets have gotten lost.
Well, why don't you take a moment to look for that invoice while Mort and I get this sorted out?
Last time we said this, she didn't find it? Alright, well, we might as well help her out with the seed packets. It's the thought that counts, right? Alright, E. Oh, this is what we gotta do. We gotta find the letters to the keyboard here. The show was actually aired in 84, if I'm correct. I do know that it ended in 92 or 94. 1992 or 94. Which is definitely interesting, considering. I did do some research on when electronic computers were invented. It is actually in the 1940s. I think it said 45. Which, oy vey, I did not know that was a thing. that it started that early. That actually really surprises me. Bum 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 ba bum 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 for finding tons of these. Oh, I didn't find all the letters. So I am missing the I, U, and the Y. Why? Because we love ya. M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck. That song is gonna be stuck in my head forever. And we're missing just one seed packet. Where are you, seed packets? How can I find you? Where are you? Oh, yeah. Okay, so before we get into this, I actually do want to mention that this is actually how it's all set up. There's actually, this thing right here is actually a recharge. If we clicked on it, bing, automatic. Anyway, so Jessica Fletcher, I did mention, is a murder mystery author. Though the electronic computer was invented in 1945, she actually preferred using the old-timey typewriter, which was used back then. It's actually still used, by the way, if you're wondering. I love that fact. I love that people still use this. I think my mom, I don't know if she got rid of it, but I remember my mom had one. Oh man, I wonder if she still has it. I might ask her. It's so cool. Okay, let's help Carol out by putting the seed packets back where they belong. By the way, when the three were talking on screen, you may have noticed that there was a skip button during that conversation. You can do that, which will skip the entire dialogue scene actually, not just what they're talking about. There is another shortcut. If you click on any part of the screen that's not the skip button, it will actually skip the current dialogue that is the screen is on. If you click the screen too much, it will skip the entire conversation, which is unfortunate because pretty much every single scene that's going on in the, well, all the books are important scenes to watch and get clues. Although there are some things about each book that has information that we're unaware of, but Jessica Fletcher is aware of. It's weird. By the way, the description for this puzzle is, I think, worded wrong. It says, rearrange the seed packets so that attributes on the yellow labels are contained in the seed packet above. Oh, no, that's written right. Never mind. I just forgot what attributes meant for a moment. Alright, so these actually do help. Let's see. Evergreen can go here. I think that might be right. Drought resistant, yeah. Perennial. But this one's perennial too. By the way, these also explain up here. An empty one is full sun. Half shaded is partial shade. A full black circle is full shade. Butterfly means attracts butterflies. And animal with a crossover means won't attract deer. That's actually pretty useful. My uncle does not want those flowers then, because oh my gosh, he is in like forest area. I actually don't remember what part of the city he's in, but he must have like the right kind of tundra on his property, because there are rabbits, there are deer, and earlier this year there was a family of foxes, because really, I forgot what a family of foxes is called actually. I should probably look that up. Anyway, puzzle, sorry. Blooms in summer, and needs full shade. Probably that. What about this one here? Blooms summer, dum. There we go. Sweet. I think I might only be able to do 2 or 3
Oh,
chapters.
Jessica, bless you. You have no idea how much you helped me out here today. I have bad news, though. I still haven't found that invoice.
Not surprised.
I'll keep looking, though. I promise.
That's fine, Carol. I noticed that you're still waiting on that mulch order.
Wait, seriously?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Add it to my list of worries. I've got customers clamoring for it left and right.
Really?
There you are. The final toxicology results from Matthew's autopsy have come in. The poison was definitely ricin.
Really?
Are you sure?
Absolutely. It must have been introduced through the small punctures I found in his hand,
The rose.
since there was no trace of any poison in his stomach and no other visible wounds.
The rose in Matthew's hand. Maybe the punctures were inflicted by the thorns on the rose he was holding when we found him.
They certainly could have been.
Kind of makes the ownership of those reinforced leather gardening gloves Avery found all the more important.
Yep,
I wonder if it's possible to trace a flower back to the person who grew it.
quite possible.
It is, if the flower is fairly rare. And the person to ask about this flower would be Thomas Pickering.
Of course. I mean, I gotta admit, Thomas Pickering is a friendly guy, but there's just something fishy about him.
Any chance you could tell us what kind of rose this is, Mr. Pickering?
Real blunt.
It's a Verona rose. Very rare.
How many people in Cabot Cove grow Verona roses?
As far as I know, just one, Emily Wiseborough. She's actually gained some notoriety among rose enthusiasts because of her Veronas.
Then why does she only get her honorable mentions?
Is that why she earns at least an honorable mention in the garden competition every year?
It's fair to say so, and she really does an excellent job with them.
Would you mind if we poke around a little while we're here?
Not at all.
Yeah, it really does make me wonder if Thomas Pickering really is in some sort of cahoots with someone. Because if her roses are that exceptional, then she should be winning these competitions, right? She should be getting a placement, not an honorable mention. What the heck is going on here? Alright, let's find the letters. It should be rather easy this time. And I think that's... No, we're missing the I. But that's fine. We are looking for a paper bag. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum bum. Oh, there's the oil can. Use it on here. If Avery wins the competition again this year, I will see to it that you are replaced as judge and club president. Oh my. Thomas, I think you may have understated how serious the rivalry between Avery and Matthew actually was. In this note, he's even threatening you. Matthew's temper was always getting the better of him. Threats from him were never to be taken seriously. I'm sorry, what? Any threat should be taken seriously. What the F are you talking about? I'm sorry, I'm getting sensitive here. Stapler. Where is the stapler? Right there. There's the recharge. Umbrella, Ella, A. I'm sorry, every time I see that word, I am going to be singing that. Oh man. Pencil holder. Right here. Wait, what? Oh, it says Humboldt Chemicals. I've seen that logo before on some of the Avery Donaldson's gardening supplies. Yes, they sponsor the prizes for the garden competition each year. That pencil holder is part of the promotional packet they sent me. You sure about that? Duck. Quack quack.
So Emily's the only one who grows Verona roses in Cabot Cove.
Is that a question or a statement?
Don't jump to any conclusions, Sheriff.
If she grew the murder weapon in her garden, she has a lot of explaining to do, starting now.
Yeah. And if that's an exclamation, there should be an exclamation points, not a period. I'm sorry, even though I have eaten, I'm getting rather tired. And I get really frustrated when I'm tired. I also get cranky and hyper. Alright, so where are we with the chapters? Chapter 12. Alright, I probably should stop here actually, because we are starting chapter 12, correct? Correct, because once we finish this, I'm assuming we're starting chapter 13. I don't want to do that. I don't like ending on odd numbers. Oh man. Okay, plus we are getting pretty close to the end of the video, even though I did talk quite a bit at the beginning. You know what? What the F? Let's just do it.
Emily, do you mind if we take a look at your rose bushes?
Go ahead. They are award-winning, you know.
Yeah! Like I said, if she gets honorable mentions because of her roses, I mean, she should be winning with these roses if they are award-winning, not honorable mentions. What the F is going on with Thomas Pickering? Oi! 3. I'm missing the A, the I, and the Y. There's the Y. Because I love ya. Oh, dang it, that's the recharge! There's the I. I guess we eventually will find the A. I'm not gonna go into this just yet, because that will reveal quite a bit. Even though the A is missing, it pretty much says clean up after T, which is basically pretty much moving everything onto the tray. Ooh, what's here? Humboldt Chemicals to sponsor a local gardening competition thanks to local botanical maven. Wait, what? Interesting. It looks like Thomas may have once worked for Humboldt Chemicals. Yeah, there is supposed to be a D. With the F? Candle. There's a jar. Ashtray. His eye is on the sparrow. No, it shouldn't be going that low, right? Light bulbs. There's the A. A baseball. Bottle cap. Or wristwatch. Bell. And now we can go there. Here. It looks like Emily is conducting an experiment with different colored roses. I wonder if I can find a peach colored rose matching the one we found in Matthew's hand. Oh, so she's not just doing botany, she's doing alchemy. Wait, is it alchemy? But you gotta be really careful with it. Okay, so we're basically looking for matches. But guess what happens if we mismatch? Yeah. But you also can just double click it to cover it back up. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Bang. Bang. Hey, we found the peach rose. This looks like a match for the rose found in the murder scene. Let's not jump to conclusions, Sheriff. Right. Oh, hose, not rose. Jeez.
Mrs. Wiseborough, we know that the rose that was used to kill Matthew O'Neill came from your garden. The one we found in his hand exactly matches the ones you grow.
Oh boy. He really likes to accuse.
I didn't kill Matthew.
The evidence points to you, I'm afraid. You had means, motive, and opportunity.
True.
I can prove I didn't kill him. I was on the phone with my sister in California at the time that Matthew was killed.
Archives.
The telephone records will bear this out, Sheriff. Besides, anyone could have come into her yard.
True.
And where would she have obtained the ricin?
I'm sure it's not that hard
You
to
got a point
obtain
there. Emily, did you ever have any reason to suspect that the garden competition was being rigged in Avery's favor?
I always suspected that Thomas and Avery had some sort of special arrangement that kept Avery in first place every year.
How?
What made you think this?
Well, that newspaper article you found, for one thing. After Thomas retired from Humboldt Chemicals, he used his connections with the company to increase the competition's prize and prestige in New England.
He neglected to tell us he used to work for Humboldt Chemicals. Is that why he was made president of the garden club?
Yes, it's also why our friendly garden exhibition turned into the fiercely contested event it is today. Everyone's spreading tales about everyone else.
With so much at stake in the garden competition, it would be surprising if there wasn't cheating involved.
And it all started when Thomas became president of the club.
We need to talk to him and find out if Emily's claim that Thomas and Avery had the competition rigged is true.
Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to stop here, because basically what's going to be happening next is Thomas revealing a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't want that to be a cliffhanger. Plus, we're cutting it pretty close on this. Alright, there we go. Seriously, that is almost a match to the kind of bike I have. Except the material for the seat and the handles are like this antique leather looking kind of material. Pretty cool. And there's no like white things over the bikes, although that would have been really helpful. Anywho, that's gonna be it for today. It feels really weird to be ending it on chapter 13. Not only do I not like ending on odd numbers, I just find the number 13 bad luck. Although in China, 13 is good luck, and 4 and anything with the number 4 is bad luck. China's superstitions are kind of weird. I'm not trying to be offensive here, but I'm just saying, like, I've learned a couple of their superstitions from Shadow at the Water's Edge. That's what I'm thinking of. By the way, I don't think it's that hard to find ricin, and I don't think it's that hard to find castor beans either. Castor beans are not illegal to plant here in America, except for in California. Definitely illegal to have castor beans and or ricin in California. Their laws are kind of weird. I should know. I've had to do some research on it for some of my books that I've written. There's actually a website you can check out. I think it's dumblaws.com or something like that. It actually tells you all the weird and stupid laws that are in effect, like around the country. I imagine there's some out in the world too. Our country is weird. There is actually one law that I would love to mention, but I don't think it would be appropriate to mention it on my channel, and just because it pertains to my situation in life. I'm not going there. It's a dark secret. Well, actually not that much of a dark secret. I do tell it to people I care about entirely. I think that's gonna be it, everyone. I love you all so much, and I hope you all enjoy this video as much as I did. And I will talk to you all in the next video, which will be Gruntail's Vengeance. That game is intense. And on that note, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If so, smash that like button like a kitten would. And if you're just now tuning into this channel, go ahead and click that ugly red subscribe button. That's beautiful gray, as well as the bell icon right next to it. That'll notify you of all the videos that I do, which are on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, rarely Fridays. And I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Sweet Rusty Rabbit Fun World, saying goodbye. Stay awesome and stay on YouTube! Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no river low enough. What the gall?